Yep. You already know what it is. Southpaw Slick, live at work. Yeah, and you see I'm in a different environment today. I actually recorded in this area before, but it's been a while. It's been a while. But anyway, once again, my voice is a little bit horsey. So forgive me if my delivery is off. But today's question is from one of my Instagram followers, and he asked, "Who are our black leaders of today?" Because Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton ain't it. Forgive me. And like I said, I got a kick out of that one. I got a kick out of that one because he's absolutely right. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton ain't it. And to tell you the truth, they didn't even cross my mind. They haven't done anything really significant in a long time. I'm talking decades. Al Sharpton is too busy perming his hair and taking selfies, and Jesse Jackson is struggling to form a cohesive sentence. Oh, thick tongue bastard. And yes, I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that, but I don't give a shit. Whatever. It is what it is. But anyway, that is a good question. Who are our black leaders? Now, when you ask the question, who, there's a strong possibility that there's a definitive answer, right? For example, if you ask me who is the president of the United States, I can readily answer that with Joe Biden. Now, when you ask me who are the black leaders of today, I can't give you a definitive answer. So we're going to counter that question with another one, a better one, a better one. Where are our black leaders of today? Are they even present? Can you pinpoint them? That's the real question. Now, me, myself, I would say that I'm inclined to automatically say Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's probably the closest thing we have to a black leader, right? Now, with Minister Louis Farrakhan, somebody I actually hold in high regard is somebody that is really for our people, right? The betterment of for our people. He has very great talking points. He has a great presentation. He stands 10 toes down no matter what. Doesn't bite his tongue. Doesn't bite his tongue at all. But the thing is, I don't think that's the general consensus within our community for two main reasons. One, because of his supposed involvement with the assassination of Malcolm X, which when he's questioned about it, or at least was questioned about it, in the past, he would give an indirect answer, like, oh, we deal with our own how we deal with our own, or, like it is what it is type shit. He never gave you a definitive answer of if he was involved or know who was involved, even though I'm sure he does know. So people give him a side eye on that. Another thing is his religious beliefs or his spiritual alignment, which is Islam. Nation of Islam in particular, but just Islam, Muslim, and period. And everybody is not necessarily fond of that religion. And that's mostly because of the ones from the Middle East, like the terrorists and Al Qaeda and Saddam Hussein and, all that bullshit. So people don't look at Muslims in a positive light as a whole. So I get that. So it's kind of hard to solidify him as the black leader. You get what I'm saying? And even if it wasn't just ours, just a few generations in, Because Louis Farrakhan is what? He's like in his 90s. He's in great shape, by the way. I know his health was like, kind of iffy, a few years ago, but he seems to be good. If you watch the video that he did talking about Kyrie Irving and Kanye West, with their anti-Semitic statements, and yes, I air quote that because if you actually do your research on Semitism, you would see that it's not what you thought it was, right? And I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys go and look that up. But anyway, I'm gonna get to it. There's one more I want to say could have been, but kind of dropped the ball. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Now, some people would look at our celebrities or people that are in the limelight, right? Your Jay-Z's, your LeBron Jameses, your Oprahs, your Barack Obamas. None of them are going to be the black leaders at all. They're incapable of that. Why? Because they're with the powers that be. They already showed their affiliation. They're with the powers that be. So they're not going to like stand up and start a new revolution. That's not happening with any of them. And the ones that try to, they bite their tongue, they pop shit and take it back. If I said it, I meant it. It is what it is. I couldn't help it. I had to say that. But like, for example, Kyrie Irving. Yeah, all he did was bring up a book, which is pretty harmless, right? But because the book was anti-Semitic, he got a lot of backlash, right? Lost his Nike endorsement deal, got suspended from games, all that shit. Just because of that. What does he do? He turns around and tweets, sorry. Bites his tongue, right? He didn't stand on his square. He wasn't 10 toes down. Another one, a few years ago, one that actually annoys me, is Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, when he was on that panel or table talk, I said, I don't know what the fuck. It's called like Nick Cannon's Classroom, whatever the fuck it's called. Where he was bringing up, anti-Semitic comments, talking about how, the European Jews or the Jewish people aren't the real Israelites and black people are the real Israelites, which he is absolutely correct on. But he got shut down quick. Viacom, they took the fucking Wildin' Out show and he lost deals over that shit. Like I said, what does he do? Turns around and does a half-ass apology. Damage control to save face. Like they all do. That's why I'm saying none of them stand 10 toes down. Now, Nick Cannon gets on my fucking nerves because he's supposedly pro-black, right? He's prancing around with that fucking turban on his head talking about he's pro-black. And just because you're pro-black doesn't mean you're anti-white. Let's not get that misconstrued, right? However, when you say you're pro-black, that doesn't mean you're also pro-miscegenation, which he is. He said that you can be pro-black and date white, right? Now, if you want to step outside the race, fine. Fine, but don't say you're pro-black in the process. That's what I have a problem with. If Nick Cannon was just his corny old self, which I didn't think Nick Cannon was corny, to be honest. I'm talking like, your pops don't like me and Drumline and his Nickelodeon show, all of that shit. I didn't think he was corny then. He was just a regular dude. He was just being himself, right? What makes him corny is this shit that he's been on these past few years. Wearing that fucking turban and talking about he's pro-black. That makes him corny to me. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the problem with the celebrities. All of them walk on eggshells. All of them have a, like I said, that phone threw me off. That phone threw me off. That's just from the office. That's just from the office. You know what I mean? I said all of them, they want to talk shit, but take it back. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's why I said you have to say things innocuously. You can't offend. This cold's getting to me. This one's getting to me. But yeah, so that's where most of them are. I said, now as far as the athletes are concerned, we don't have those Muhammad Ali archetypes. We really don't. The only one we got that was even close to that was Colin Kaepernick when he took that knee during the national anthem, which I respect him to this day. Salute. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. I love for that brother. 100%. He didn't bend. He didn't fold. Like I said, he took a knee. He didn't apologize. Lost his NFL contract. Lost everything pretty much. Just because he stood or kneeled for what he believed in. And never backed down. And I respect that 100%. But like I said, he's doing his own thing. He's not necessarily, like, actually he is. He is pro-black and he is a revolutionary to an extent. But he's not with it 100%. And I get it. Like I said, in the profession that he's in, I'm like, yeah, he's not currently playing football, but still he's a public figure. He's a celebrity nonetheless. I'm saying the profession that he's in, and in this day and age, I get why he's not willing to do it 100%. But at least he showed that it could be done. Yeah, you might have to make some serious sacrifices to do it, but he showed that it could be done. Right? Now, the person I want to get to the most, the one that I thought for certain was going to be that quote unquote black leader of this generation, is brother or Dr. Umar Johnson, right? Dr. Umar Johnson is an individual I was introduced to back in, I believe, 2008, early 2009, when he was talking about the miseducation of black boys in the American public school system. And I was loving everything I was hearing. I said, so I really delved in to, his different seminars and different interviews and hearing his views on interracial dating, his views on white supremacy, both socially and systemically. Yes, there's definitely a difference, and one can definitely overpower the other depending on the circumstances. Like I said, he was dropping a lot of gems. He was dropping some chaos emeralds, like serious chaos emeralds. I'm telling you. Like I said, Brother Umar Johnson, even now, I have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of respect for him. But there's certain things that make you give him a side eye, right? Now, first and foremost, it's unfortunate that he got widespread attention or notice when he was caught in that conscious stripper scandal, right? It's unfortunate that it took that for him to be known. Like he wasn't known off of his good merits. You know what I mean? Even though I don't see nothing wrong with that. He was a single heterosexual man who entertained a woman and they had a good time. That's it. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Why? I mean, because she's a stripper. According to him, he didn't meet her as that. He met her at a like some kind of pro-black get together. You know what I mean? So of course you're not going to know that she was a stripper. And even so what? Now, if he was with a Becky, that'd be a different story, right? Because it would be diametrically opposed to everything he stands for. So that would be an issue. I would definitely, understand the uproar if it was that, or if he was caught with a dude. But then again, who knows? He probably celebrated for that shit in this day and age. But anyway, continuing on. Okay, he got caught with the conscious stripper. That definitely tainted his image to everybody else, not me, and a few others. But ultimately, the thing that makes people see him in a negative light is his broken promises. The biggest broken promise being him building that state of the art school, the FDMG Academy, which stands for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy for Black boys and girls. Now, on paper, everything he was bringing up, talking about, teaching the kids about agriculture and African culture, teaching them the different languages like Xhosa, Zulu, Congo. I'm with all of that. I said the way he was breaking down everything, I was completely on board with it. I'm still on board with it if he's really going to do it. Yeah, he was showing off some, campus in Delaware, like an abandoned campus, but he hasn't really done much with it. The donations, where have the donations really gone? All the people that donated, they lost faith in him because they don't see any progress. They don't see what you've done with that money. It's like you just collecting it and fell back. So now you look like a scam artist. And that fucks everything up because now people don't trust him at all. 100% don't trust him. You know what I mean? Like I said early on, excuse me. Early on, even if he couldn't get that huge college campus that he wanted right away, he could have started off small. He could have rented out a unit at a brick and mortar, like Plaza. He could have, he could have started that shit in a fucking trailer for all I care. I'm saying as long as you're showing people progress. I'm saying that would have been great if he had a fucking trailer with an actual classroom and teaching kids. I'm saying it would show people that you're serious about this shit. Sometimes you have to start off small. Like I said, sometimes you have to be a temporary peasant to be a forever king. That's why I said sometimes you have to start off small. And that's what he should have done if he couldn't get that school right away. And he always blames, that supposed NFL player. Of course, he kept it anonymous about him donating $1 million check to the school, and that he turned him down after the conscious stripper incident. And I'm like, damn. Now I said, whether he's telling the truth or not, I don't know, but we'll take his word for that. Okay, fine, you lost that. Okay, but like I said, even if you couldn't get the school you wanted right away, you could have started off with something like that. Like I said, could have rented out a unit. I'm saying started, putting the kids on game early on. And that would have actually earned everybody's trust. The parents, the students, the community as a whole. Now, if he would have went through with that early on, he probably would be on that trajectory of becoming the black leader of this generation. And I would have been fully supportive of that. Because I think Brother Omar Johnson is great as far as his presentation, right? He speaks very eloquently. He's very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. I'm saying has a lot of informative, insightful information. You know what I mean? You can learn a lot from this guy. A lot. Even now. I said I watch his videos on a regular basis. Like I said, I watch we was talking about the Kyrie Irving, Kanye situation. What was the other video? We was talking about white supremacy, of course. But I'm saying, he always gives you different perspectives to look at, the same topic. And he breaks it down in a very educational way. Maybe that's because of his teaching background that helps him with that. But that's great. That's absolutely great. But the answer really is we really don't have a leader, like a definitive leader. The closest thing would be Minister Louis Farrakhan as far as appealing to the masses. more so than Dr. Umar Johnson. And that's only because of that one mistake that I brought up. If he would have started off small with the FDMG Academy, I think he would have won over the good graces of everybody and would have been the person he sees himself as. Because he can be very egotistical. I can admit that. Maybe that's a Leo thing, which it is. I'm a Leo. I know. I know. We can be prideful at times. But I think sometimes our pride can be our downfall. But break is over. I want to talk about this a little bit more, actually, a lot of bit more, but I'm going to have to end it right here. So, Southpaw Slick, I'm out.